Well, that doesn't sound like any fun. What about that big water slide in Kansas? Oh, the Lopper. Yeah, that's a little too hardcore for me. I don't want to do that.
Hush.
PKA gems.
All right, so maybe some of you remember the water slide in Kansas City.
I just heard about that.
So it came out maybe a year or so ago, and it was such a big deal because this water slide was so big, so powerful, so high, so tall, all that stuff. It's got a couple of drops. This water slide. It starts out and you go straight down in a 3-person raft at a very high speeds, and you go down a hill, and then you go up a hill and then down again. And the way it gets you up the second hill is with a series of water jets on the slide that are pushing you along and up the next hill. Now, the combined weight of the 3 persons on the raft is supposed to be 400 pounds or more to make sure that the raft always maintains contact with the slide. Well, what happened here was a series of failures with that system. First of all, the reason this slide is in Kansas City is because the state Republicans have kind of made that area a low regulation area. So it's one of the few places that they could build this enormously tall and dangerous water slide.
And some of those regulations had to do with the size of the people. Like, you know how it says you must be this tall? Well, they don't do that. So carry on.
Yeah. The height thing changed, and even the age thing had been reduced to down to like maybe 10 years old from like 14 or something like that. They figured that what's really important is that we got 400 pounds on this raft. So this kid, who is the son of this Republican state senator, goes up with 2 of his friends. The 3 of them don't weigh enough combined to go down together. So they put the 2 boys on with a stranger, send them down, and now it's the last child's turn. And for some reason, they put him on with 2 women. And since he is the lightest of the 3, he goes in the front.
And the women are not big.
They're not big. They don't come to the needed 400 pounds. They've said that is a failure with the scale. That's obviously a failure with whoever's picking and choosing. He didn't want to make the kids skip 2 rides in a row. That's clearly what happened if you think about it. Like, if anybody's ever been to the top of one of these water slides, it's a shit show. They're just trying to get you off and gone. And so they go down the first hill. They come up the second one, and they kind of keep going up. They lose contact with the slide and start flying through the air off the track. Well, they've got these big metal rings that go up and over the slide and have netting strung between them to keep you from just flying off into space. Well, one of those rings completely decapitates the child in front, cuts his head clean off. The head keeps flying backwards and hits the woman in the face behind her, doing some fracturing her skull and her face and like messing up her orbital socket, around her eye. And both of those women's faces hit the net, and it scratches them all up as they hit this net going dozens of miles per hour. The boy's headless body slides to the bottom of the slide in that pool of water they used to decelerate you at the bottom, where his friends are waiting. You can see the pictures of that area soaked in blood. It's just red. It looks like a shark attack. And they're screaming as this headless child's body comes to the bottom, followed by the head, followed by the 2 severely injured women.
Dude, that is one of the most ghoulish, horrible stories I've ever heard.
Have you seen the boy?
Yeah, I just saw the picture of him.
He's
not the injured picture, the pre-injured picture.
Yeah,
just like
he's the most adorable, like, cute little boy. I sound pedo, but like it.
No, that's not pedo. I'm just saying.
Whenever I say it, it's
what he's like. Where's the head at?
Who wants the head? He's dead.
It's like the dwarf head in Game of Thrones. You're like, leave the head.
That's funny though.
Oh man, that's
horrifying. Yeah.
Did you say it's a 400 pound minimum for 3 people? I mean, that's
you gotta have a man in there. That's all.
Considering it's a children's ride, that seems like a fucking.
It's not a children's ride. The owner has specifically said this is an extreme. This is not a family ride. This is an extreme ride. The people who do this are akin to the people who skydive and race cars. This is an extreme ride, and it is. It's scary.
And you
we should see a YouTube video of it going as planned. so we can. I'd like to see that. What's
Yeah,
the name
yeah.
of the?
You can say that it's not a kid's ride, and they did.
The
Kyle's
Denoganator.
right. But I feel like
flopper.
you can't just say it. Like, it's at an amusement park, right? There's tons of people going on, families, moms, kids, etc. Like, just because you say, like, oh no, this one is like bungee jumping, you know, this one is like skydiving. I don't know. It doesn't make it true. I assume
And there's no age limit, right?
just size that
10.
and I don't blame the guy at the top of the slide very much at all. He shouldn't be put in a position where if he doesn't accurately guess weights like a carnival person, then people
like scale.
die.
You
Well,
just got to do math. Do these
Okay,
three
you're right. There's a
numbers exceed
scale.
400 pounds, and it's his one job, really, if you think about it. Maybe he wasn't made aware of how important his job was. Maybe no one said, "Hey, at 320 pounds, children lose their heads, and we all lose our jobs." Bro, nobody probably said that. They were like, "Hey, dude, 400 or more, right?" And he's like, "Yeah," and that was it.
320 the total weight. It's 2 women and a 10-year-old. Let's say the average woman's 125, 130, so 260 plus a. Yeah, I mean, if it's, I don't know, if it's 400 is the minimum weight. In reality, it should be like 200 should make it airborne. Like, you know what I mean? There shouldn't be like, oh, 399, 401. Like, it should be no fucking.
There should be no at
here's the
350
problem with
people
that,
die.
Here's the problem with that, though. Because of the nature of the ride and those water jets that force you up, you have to keep the weight in a median area. It can't be too low and it can't be too high, or the ride just doesn't work because of the nature of what they've done.
Right.
It's this video. Yeah, because early on they had incidents of people going, they go down the first hill and they start going up the second one and then whoop, we didn't make it, and they're just kind of, So this video I sent really gets to the point immediately with the ride taking off and going. Somebody made a good video.
Do you want to watch it together?
The yacht video?
The most recent video is 2 minutes and 36 seconds long, and it just shows someone quickly ride the ride.
Do you want to go to where it starts?
Gotcha,
the ride
gotcha,
starts.
gotcha.
It starts at 1 second, it immediately starts.
No,
Oh, am I wrong?
Yeah,
I'm
It's
at
like
30
a-
seconds. They're still at the top
go-
of the slide.
Oh, my bad.
Go to 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah, they sit there for a while.
Oh, dang, my bad. It looked like they were immediately gonna get kicked off. All right, I'm at 2 minutes.
All right, I'm at 204. Let's sync up.
Okay, so yeah, this shit's more like a roller coaster than a water slide.
Yeah, I'm 204.
Okay.
All
So
right.
so while we're paused here at 204, you can see that netting in front of them. That's not the netting he went into. It's the second series of netting. But you can kind of see a ring that creates the top oval-shaped perimeter of that net. That's what took the boy's head off. Not that particular one, but the one on the second hill.
Okay, let's go ahead and watch this.
Ready, set, play.
Looks like a ton of fun, if I'm being honest. Look at this.
Oh, I'm sure it was a ton of fun.
Look at this.
Oh, that looks
Holy
awesome.
shit.
Now the jets are shooting them up.
And they got airborne and flew into those nets.
Yeah.
And then
Holy
it's a short ride. Yeah, you can definitely see exactly where it happened.
And you can imagine, if the three of us were on there, there'd been no issue whatsoever, and it'd been a hell of a time. But you put a kid on there with 2 normal-sized women. See, that's the problem. I feel like if this ride were in Georgia, we'd have found 2 big old girls to put on there with that kid. That ride wouldn't have even made it up to the top of the second hill.
Just have a rule: must have 1 adult man per ride. We get to ride the ride more, and you pretty much cement that it's going to be. You take an adult man, you put a small woman in there, and then even a 12-year-old kid, you'll hit 400 pounds. You'll hit it.
That's right.
You know?
Because
I read
I
that.
wonder how long did this ride operate safely until an incident happened?
A year.
1 year?
Not that long.
Because that's pretty remarkable
There's-
in itself that it even lasted that fucking long.
Not even that, because here's the thing. It didn't used to have the jets that push them up. I read this. And you could get stuck at the bottom. So they added those jets, and they added the weight minimum at the same time. So it felt like they were still dialing it in, right? First you had people getting stuck, then you put jets at the bottom. Now you got people launching into decapitation.
They should have sandbag kind of devices. You know what I mean? If you have 3 people that are under the limit, they should have some type of Velcro sandbags on the side.
What they need are giant walls and no roof, so that if crazy airborne happens, they just stay in the tunnel and land in it.
Or just a seatbelt.
Well, they
Just a
had a
seatbelt.
seatbelt,
Just-
a Velcro seatbelt.
they were, the raft went. It's not like the boy was thrown from the raft.
Oh.
The whole raft flew.
Yeah,
and he
that's why
crashed
the women were
raft
hurt
into
too.
that ship.
Everyone on that
Okay.
raft got head injuries.
I misunderstood the dynamics of that. All right. Oh man, that's fucked
I mean, at the end of the day, with amusement parks and shit, like nobody bats 1,000, man. There's gonna be a couple fucking tragedies here and there, man. It's just one fucking. You know what I mean? Like there's You're not gonna.
Hey, would
have
you
no
even want to
death
go
rate.
if everyone survived? Like who wants to go on that fucking ride? You're like, oh, you heard about the new thrill ride at Adventure Mountain? No, what's it like? Ah, it's incredible. All kinds of hills and turns and flips. Really? Anybody died? Well, no. Everybody who doesn't makes it out. It's not actually dangerous or anything. Well, that doesn't sound like any fun. What about that big water slide in Kansas? Oh, the Lopper. Yeah, that's a little too hardcore for me. I don't want to do that. That's the one I want to do. Like,
I
if
mean,
I'm being
there's-
honest, the fact that someone just died on this ride makes me want to do it more.
Had you heard of it before?
Yeah. I heard it.
I mean, the only reason I know about it is this. I mean, any publicity is good publicity if you want to be the devil about it. You know what I mean? I've never heard it.
I just think.
Big boys do what they want.